Hello lovelies, my name's Joanna and I'm the designer behind Mojo Stitches, and I'm really glad you could join me for a little stitchy chat. I have, it's very early in the morning here, so it's a little dim. My video is looking a little blurry. I'm hoping it will sharpen up as the sun continues to rise. I found the only time I can get videos done is like first thing in the morning. Otherwise I sit around getting too nervous and I can't do it. So it's got to be first thing in the morning. So grab yourself a cuppa. I've got some coffee with me because, as I said, it's still very early in the morning. Grab yourself a cuppa, grab some stitching, and we'll just have a nice catch up and chat. I have some new releases to show you, and I have a magazine thing as well, but it's mainly just to spend some time together. Yeah, I've kind of felt a bit odd about doing videos and releasing things. I know people don't like politics in cross-stitch content and everything, but I feel like I just have to acknowledge that, you know, it's a rough time for everybody at the moment, and I just have to keep remembering that I know the comfort that stitching brings to me when the world gets a little overwhelming. And I've heard lots and lots of comments from people all over the world about the comfort that stitching brings them. So I hope this is offered in that vein, and in sort of acknowledgement that doing the things that we love is an important way to take care of ourselves while the world is doing the world. So yeah, I'm also looking forward to creating some new ways I'm working on at the moment that we can connect a little bit more and a little bit, in ways, because connection's really important as well. So that's all I wanted to say, and my support for everybody in these really difficult times. A sad thing before we go forward, well, sort of, I just wanted to share my little story. I know you all know that Jean from the attic passed, and I just wanted to share my little experience with Jean as a way to honour her, because she was such a big part of the cross-stitch community and so beloved. It was lovely to see everybody's sort of memories and acknowledgement of what she contributed. So I never got to meet Jean in person. It was on my bucket list to get to the attic one day and to meet her, and yeah, it was quite sad. But just as a designer, you know, I deal with a lot of shops and a lot of stitches and everything, of course, which is wonderful, and I'm grateful for every one of them. But Jean was really special. When I sort of did my big sort of debut at Needlework Expo, you know, a few years ago, Jean really made an effort to introduce herself to me personally, and every time we interacted going forward, she would go out of her way to have a video call or to really interact personally, and that's not very common. And as someone who is a long way away from most of the sort of stitching community, you know, it really meant a great deal to me that she would do that. And I remember when I released my first sort of bird pattern, the Mary Barton's work that everybody loved, Jean contacted me and said she was doing a silk conversion of it, and I felt like, oh, okay, I've made it. And she just asked for a little bit of help with that, and I noticed she was having trouble putting her conversion together and everything, and I said, oh, I can do that for you, just some formatting things and stuff. And she was so grateful about it. It was this tiny little thing, but she was so grateful about it, and it was so nice to be able to share that, and I was so honoured that she stitched my piece, and apparently it's in the attic. So that's just lovely. And I just wanted to sort of share that and add my little sort of, yeah, honouring her and her tremendous contribution to us all. So on happier things, however, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who came to the Great Australian Shindig, which is our first sort of big Australian sort of online Shindig retreat that was run by the wonderful Lisa at Paddock Lane Stitches, who always does such an incredible job with organising. I met so many lovely people there. It was just great, and a big thank you as well to everybody who was so kind in welcoming my sister of yellow sassafras designs, and she's got a couple of new designs up that are really, really beautiful. I will leave her shop Etsy shop link below so you can go check them out. They're really, really lovely, and I hope to have another video with her soon, so she might be visiting this week, so we can have another little chat and catch up, because I think that's really fun. So yes, there was lots of wonderful people at Shindig. It was whole tech worked out fantastically well, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next one. So thank you so much everybody for coming. In terms of stitchy related things, I had another fun thing. Now, I don't get out much, but my lovely friend Heather somehow discovered this wonderful exhibition opening that was happening at the University of Technology Library in Sydney of this artist in residence. Her name is Vita Cochrane. I will leave, if the exhibition's still open, I think it is, I will leave the details below so that you can look at them. She's an artist who works in embroidery a lot, and she created this tremendous collection of moths that she embroidered all over the library. And the exhibition opening was this wonderful thing where we had to go around in the candlelight to find all the moths. It was just the most sweet thing. And the little map and everything that we got with it doesn't have good photographs of her work, so I will leave some links below so that you can see. And if you're in Sydney, and do go check it out, because it was a lovely thing, and it was lovely to see embroidery being taken, you know, well, embroidery being recognised as a really serious art form. It was just lovely. And big thank you to my lovely friend Heather for taking me to such a wonderful thing. It was so fun. I mean, moths and libraries and embroidery. I mean, yeah, I know. It felt a little too perfect. So that was my big exciting night out. I live a very quiet life. Aside from that, I have been doing an awful lot of reading, and I wanted to ask you a question, actually. One of my stitching and reading are my ways to kind of get through stress and to do sort of some self-care and that kind of thing. So my reading has just exploded this year. And some of the things I've been reading are related to upcoming designs and things. I wanted to ask you a question. Would you be, I know I've talked a little bit about books before that I've read and everything, but is that something that you would be interested in hearing about? And if so, would you like that in my stitchy videos, or would you prefer a separate video so that you could, you know, skip that if you wanted to, or just sort of see book content? If that's something that you would be interested in or not, please leave me a comment and let me know, because I'm sort of exploring that, and I'm looking, I'd like to sort of do some more sort of book related content, but only in a way that would please you guys. So if you could let me know, that would be really, really helpful. And I just find I love, you know, reading as a way of frankly, at the moment, getting a little bit of reprieve from what's happening in the world, but also just as a way to calm and sort of ground myself and everything. And I'd love to share some of the things that some of the books that I read that I find really helpful in that way and that I really enjoy. So yeah, let me know if that is something that you would like to see. So I've been doing a lot of that, and after Shindig, I have been able to slow down the pace a little bit. Last year got a little out of hand with all the commitments and everything I had, which was great, and I'm grateful for every one of them, but I've been working a little bit beyond my capacity. So this year I am promising to take a little bit better care of myself. So I have taken things a little bit more slowly. Now, one of the exciting things that has happened is I have a design again, and these are always done like months and months in advance, so it's always really exciting when you finally get to see them. I have another design in Homespun Australia Magazine, which is really great. I haven't got the model back yet. It's still with the magazine, so I can't show you, unfortunately. But I can show you in the magazine. It's called Sugar Glider. Now, it has photographed very dark, as they always do in print. I know when I'm doing my charts, I have to lighten everything up a bit because it always makes it look much darker. But yes, I designed this because I wanted to do a beautiful little sugar glider who looked like he just kind of landed on the side of a tree. And I've done all these Australian flowers. I wanted to sort of give the idea of the sugar glider's point of view of just being amongst this abundance of beautiful blossoms and blooms. So it's a really fun little stitch. It's done in the Cottage Garden Threads bookshelf threads, and I think I put DMC white in there too. I can't remember offhand. Yes, I did. And my model was stitched on beautiful 32 count buttercream by Whoopsie Daisy Designs, which is Teresa from Daisy Chain Stitchery. It's much lighter and really pretty. This has made it look quite dark in here, but do go check out her beautiful fabric. It's really gorgeous. So the pattern is available in Homespun Australia, the February-March edition. I have heard from a couple of US stitchers who couldn't wait that they found the magazine available on a magazine app. I know in Australia there's one called Readly where you can get magazines. And I believe in the US and potentially other places in the world, there's a magazine called Pocket Magazine, and apparently you can get it through this. So if you don't want to wait, you can grab it there. Otherwise, the pattern, I will release the pattern in a couple of months. It's licensed to the magazine first, but I do have thread packs with threads that you need in there up on my Etsy store if you want to get started. Of course, there is a DMC conversion as well, but you know, I think the Cottage Garden threads are always something really special. So if you wanted to treat yourself, I do these to keep the costs down whenever I can. So yeah, that's there. Yeah, it was a really fun design. There is a few color changes in this one. I know not everybody likes that, but it was the only way to get the really delicate, where is it now? I've lost it. Yeah, to get the delicate sort of little blossoms, you know, there's color changes. The way I stitch things like that is I thread my needle with one color and I jump around the design doing that color till the threads run out, and then I get another color and jump around. And I find that I don't find that a huge bother, but you know, I know some people don't like color changes. I'll stop now. It was necessary for the design. Just giving you a heads up. Anyway, I will show you the model when I get it back. Hopefully that will be soon, because it's always much nicer to see them in person. But yeah, it's a real honour to be in this magazine. And thank you to Deb, the editor, who's very kind. And yeah, it's really nice to be in there, especially with Tula Pink on the cover. And secret, I am actually just about to submit, working on another design for a different magazine as well at the moment. So yes, you will see that later in the year too. So that's a design that you can get for free, well, for the price of the magazine. So I hope, yeah, if you're interested, that's something to find. The magazine, I believe, is available in Australia and New Zealand. Just in newsagents, some supermarkets even have it. So it's quite readily available, and you can get a subscription. Stop talking so fast, Joe. I get nervous. I talk too fast. Anyway, I have a few new releases out. With all of Nashville going on and everything at the moment, they kind of got a bit lost. So if your shop doesn't have them, feel free to request them. That would be lovely. But they will be around, so, you know, no stress. There's no point competing with all the Nashville stuff. Yes, I know there's a lot come out this year, so yeah, we'll take that for what it is. I have done 2 original designs and 1 antique reproduction. And the antique reproduction I'll show you first is called Mrs. Patmore's Sweet Home. It's just a little pin pillow. I finished it really, really simply without a border or anything, but of course you can finish this in any way that you like. It is a reproduction of this beautiful perforated paper piece that I found that I just loved. Now look at that whopping great rose and the cute little house. Yeah, this is done on perforated paper. And I just loved, I almost finished it like that, and I you know, given time, I would go back and stitch it twice. I really love how the original stitcher finished this, because just behind it are just 2 lengths of thick ribbon, and she's just put the paper on top, and I just thought that was really sweet. I really liked it. Now, it's, I don't know who Mrs. Patmore was, I mean, other than Downton Abbey, but this is an antique, so it can't be that. But I just love to think of whoever stitched this, you know, presumably for Mrs. Patmore or in memory of her or something, just celebrated, you know, their lovely friendship and relationship and the beautiful home that she created. And I just thought that was really sweet. And it was really nice to sort of bring that back. So it's a very quick, simple, easy stitch. I did my little pin pillow. I've done it in Weeks, Classic Colourworks and Gentle Arts. There is a DMC conversion on the pattern. That's the pattern here, Mrs. Patmore's Sweet Home. And I stitched it on 37 count Wild Honey by Legacy Linens, because I had some of that left over from one of my other designs. But you could use anything you like, of course. That just made a really great little size for a little pin pillow, and it's been sitting next to me while I'm doing my stitching, while I wonder about who Mrs. Patmore was and whoever stitched that for her. I just think that was a really sweet piece. So that's Mrs. Patmore's. Now, the next one has been a bit overdue for a while. A couple of years ago now, you will know that I stitched, created some alphabet blocks for A and B, and I really loved them, but not a lot of people bought them. And so I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's too complicated or people didn't like them. I didn't know. So I kind of I was always planning to do the whole series, but I kind of put them aside as other things happened and other things. But I've been getting more and more requests to continue the series, so I'm really happy to bring back C and D. C and D. Now, where's that? C and D. These are terribly hard to photograph. So the photographs that I've got, I feel like don't do them anywhere near justice, because as a 3D thing, they're really hard to photograph. Now, these are only done in 2 colours. I use one Cottage Garden Threads and one DMC. The C block uses Candlestick from the Bookshelf range. Of course, full DMC conversion is there. And I really love doing these because it's a chance to sort of do some motifs that I kind of wanted to do but maybe couldn't fit in a bigger design. So I did this lovely wonky camel. I did a chateau. These are some sea flowers. There's like chamomile and I think calendula in there. What else have I got? Oh, and some crowns that you often see on old antique samplers. And it's just, it's just such a simple thing to do. Now, I have the finishing instructions up on my blog at mojostitches.com, and it's really much easier than it looks like. When my sister is here next, I will hopefully be able to get her to film me while I finish one so that you can see. I don't have the tech to be able to sort of film a proper tutorial like that. I'm hoping to get there, but it's all stitched on the one piece, and then you use a technique that's just very similar to a biscornu to finish it. All you do is follow the stitch path that I show and just whip stitch as you stitch each block, you stitch a full line of cross stitches around the edges, and as you're putting them together, you're just sewing through those stitches, not the fabric itself. So it's actually way easier than it looks. I've got very clear instructions with photographs up on my blog. Just search for alphabet blocks tutorial. But of course you don't have to make blocks. You could stitch, you know, a letter and the chateau next to each other as a little pin pillow. Or you could stitch all 6 sides next to each other and frame it. You know, I've been wanting to do that as an example, and if I get time, I will, to show you. And before I forget, I should say, although these are quite sturdy, they're not meant as toys for children. These have got crushed walnuts in them, which may not be safe, you know, certainly aren't safe for very small children. And I believe they're very low allergen, but if someone has a tree nut allergy, I would keep them away from that just in case. So yeah, these are decorative. They're not meant to be toys. I just feel like I need to say that. I know you're all sensible, but yeah, so that's the C block. And of course you can do it in a different colour if you would like to fit your decor, if you want to give it to a friend and their name begins with C and they have a favourite colour or something, you could always do it in a different colour. So these are just an example. I've got some little tips about how I use the cottage garden threads as well. Sometimes the candlestick colour here has very minimal variegation, but to do the body of the camel, I know you know when you stitch with variegated threads, sometimes when you stitch a bigger area like that, you can end up with stripes. So even though you'd have very subtle stripes with this, what I did to give it that lovely mottled kind of furry look was I stitched the body of the camel, the first leg of the cross stitch only, and then for the top stitch, I kind of jumped a little bit all over the place, and that gives it this really nice kind of mottled look. So that's just a little idea for that you might like to use. So that C is for chateau, and D is for dodo. I've always wanted to do a dodo, and I couldn't work out how to put it into a design, so D is for dodo. They're such funny looking things, and I would love to have one. Now, D is for dodo. So you've got the uppercase and lowercase d. Then you've got some little doves with little peace branches in there. Some tiny little dogs, which are hard to see, but they're there. I did a drum, and there's a note called a demi-semi-quaver, so I put that in as well. And what else? Oh, these are lovely too. These are some flowers. I think they're delphiniums from memory. Yep, delphiniums and some dragonflies. And this is using the beautiful bookshelf Cottage Garden Threads colour called Scandalous with DMC. And of course, yeah, I think they look so pretty together. The colours are just beautiful. So yeah, these, oh, my dodo is upside down, we can't have that. So for those of you who've been patiently waiting, thank you for your patience. This is C is for Chateau, D is for Dodo. And I am committed to doing the entire alphabet series by the end of next year. So I know that's a lot, but I would really love to get these out there because I think they're really fun. And once you get the finishing down, they're actually really quick and easy to stitch. And I would love to, you know, I listen to what you guys say, and I wanted to thank you for your patience for waiting, and they will come there. Now, that being said, I have the rest of the alphabet to do. So do you have some motifs that you would love to see for different letters? If so, leave me a message, a comment below, because I would love to get, I can't promise all of them, but I would love to see what you would like to stitch. So yeah, leave me a comment. Oh. Now, the last new release, if you're a regular watcher, you will have seen, because the stitches at the last Stitching in the Mountains retreat got this early, but I'm so excited to be able to share this with you now, which is in the greenhouse. Now, I've had so many people stitch in the library and tell me how much it meant to them. You know, people have given it to teachers and, you know, hang it in libraries and all sorts of things. It's just incredible. And I always wanted to do a series, and that one was kind of all about books and libraries and this sort of thing. And this one, in this time, I wanted to celebrate all the gardeners and the plant parents and the green thumbs, of which I am not, but I have aspirations. So this is in the greenhouse. So I imagine in my dream home next to my beautiful big library is like a conservatory or a greenhouse where I can sit in a comfortable chair and read my books amongst lovely blooming growing things. So in this one, the border is of nasturtiums, and it was so fun to put this together. I just love it. I've got some lovely little butterflies, some little snails. There's all sorts of little critters hanging around in here, actually. And it's the thing that I love about these designs is you get a little finish as you go along. Like if you wanted to stitch the little tulips, you know, you could stitch that and get a little finish, and I really enjoy that. And there's all sorts of little things. You know, I love how the bonsai came out. I thought that was great. So, you know, there's some gardening gloves and some tools and a little peace lily. It's one of the things I can grow without killing it. A little hedgehog in here. All sorts of things. It was, it's such a fun stitch. And it is the same stitch count as in the library. But I stitched it on a different fabric this time because I stitched it on 37 count wild honey, because I wanted to fit in this ready-made frame that I bought. So it's a little bit, I meant to bring in the library so you could see that it's just a tiny little bit smaller. I'll show you next time. I'll try to remember to show you next time. But you can, of course, stitch it on the same fabric that you used for in the library if you'd like to have a pair, or on anything you like. You just need something with a little bit of colour so that the ecru, the page turner, sort of stands out. I really like Wild Honey. It's a beautiful colour, so I use that. And of course, this uses the Bookshelf Cottage Garden threads. Now, I do have thread packs available. I haven't listed them yet on my Etsy, because I can't sell the chart yet because it's going to shops first. But if you would like a thread pack, just send me a convo and you know, we can work that out. Yeah, it's a really fun stitch. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it too. And I know for me, stitching growing, blooming happy things is was a real pleasure. And yeah, I hope it brings you some comfort as well. Oh, there's some little tips that I had for stitching with the cottage garden threads in this design. The little straw hat here, I stitched in a colour called Gilt that has a bit of variegation in it. And to make the variegation kind of look like, I hope you can see that there, the way it's ended up, it looks like there's sun shining on it. So what I did to get that effect was I started from the outside and I just actually stitched it in a circle, the sort of just one stitch line sort of in a spiral, and that helped move the variegation around so you end up so that it's not a solid motif, but you get the variegation to move around like that. That was just a little tip. Of course, there is a DMC conversion on the chart as well. If you would like an over-dye conversion, let me know and I can put that up on my blog. I haven't put it on the chart this time. The other tip that I did for stitching the watering can is a colour called Nib, and I stitched it diagonally to get the variegation to move kind of that way. So that's just a little tip. It was such a fun stitch and so much fun to design. I really enjoyed it, and you know, I'm actively working on more ideas for some more because I think that's yeah, it's fun. Fun is good. That was wise, Joe. So they're my new releases. They are available in shops first. So if you would like to get a copy, please ask your LNS or ONS to order you one. There are a few that have already, so if you do a search, you'll find them, and a big thank you to them. It makes a really big difference when shops order directly from me, but they'll be going to the distributor shortly as well, so they'll be more widely available. And then I will have them, and I will have the PDFs in a month or two. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of how the business works. The shops need to have them exclusively for a little while first. So I apologise, those of you who are waiting for the PDFs. I'll get them to you as soon as I can. And yes, there will be lots of things coming this year that I'm really looking forward to. As I said, I'm trying to keep the pace a little more gentle, trying to take care of myself and do things that I really love. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of those with you. I will be at couple more retreats and things. I've got 3 retreats planned. We'll see what happens. And some magazine things. And yes, maybe something else exciting coming. We shall see. Oh, before I go, I wanted to thank you to everybody for the kind messages that you send. It's such a pleasure for me to interact with you all. And I promise to get better at interacting with the comments on YouTube. I find that a little confronting. I don't know why. I'm working on it. I will reply to every comment that you leave. I do see them. I just get shy and I can't reply sometimes, but I'm working on it. I'm an old lady. I should be better at these things. Yes, and I have an idea of a way to build up the community. So yes, I'm working on that. We'll see what happens. But before I go, I must say I am very close to getting 1,000 subscribers on my channel. And apparently there are things that you can do once you have 1,000 subscribers, like lives, streams and things, which is something I would love to explore. So if you haven't subscribed, or if you know someone who you think might be interested, it would really mean a lot to me to get to that milestone. So I don't normally ask, but that would mean a lot. So thank you. I hope you guys are all well and taking good care of yourselves. It's starting to feel like autumn here. We had a day about a week ago where I woke up and it's like, oh, it's autumn. There's something about the quality of the light, or something that just feels, you know. And then we went back to hot again, which always happens. So I'm really looking forward to the new season as it comes in. I know in Northern Hemisphere you're going to get spring, which I'm sure is really welcome after the cold weather that you guys get. So I know that's a lovely thing to look forward to as well. There is there's always another spring. So I will be back soon. I hope you guys are taking good care of yourselves and that you're enjoying your stitching and all the Nashville stuff that's going on. To be honest, you know, it'd be way too overwhelming for me, so it's probably good that I can't go. It is a little hard though. I do feel a little left out, but that's okay. I get to stay at home and do my stitching, which is probably better for me anyway. So but I hope everyone who's there has a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy all your new patterns and seeing what everybody is doing. I keep up with a lot of it, but not all of it, because I get really intimidated. And I'm like, oh, what am I doing? So I haven't seen everything yet, because I, keep myself to myself. Now, I'm sure there was something else I was meant to tell you, and I've forgotten. But I will blame the fact that I haven't finished my second coffee yet. I do appreciate your company and your comments and your friendship, because this is a wonderful community that means, of really special people, and you are one of them. So take good care of yourself, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.